So, everyone, this past weekend, the wonderful tradition of the White House Correspondents Dinner continued after 2 dark years due to COVID. And they tapped Trevor Noah of The Daily Show to give the keynote speech. So, after about 15 or 16 minutes of comedy, he decided to get serious about the true significance of this wonderful ceremony. So, let's hear a little of what he had to say at the end.
Look no further than what's happening in Ukraine. Look at what's happening there. Journalists are risking and even losing their lives to show the world what's really happening. You realize how amazing it is. Like, in America, you have the right to seek the truth and speak the truth, even if it makes people in power uncomfortable, even if it makes your viewers or your readers uncomfortable. You understand how amazing that is?
Hang on, don't we have a version of this with more context?
United States.
A version of this with more context.
Yeah. Shouldn't we put some context on this? I feel like this is out of context.
Yeah, it is a little out of context. I agree. It's tough. I mean, all right, here, let me see what I could do. I think we have something. Let me see. Here, wait a minute. All right, this might be better. There we go. That's better. Okay, now let's play it. Now this will all make a lot more sense, I think.
That helps it gel.
Yeah,
that makes it gel.
This makes it now. It makes sense.
Now
it was
it's
missing
gelling.
something.
Yeah.
Look no further than what's happening in Ukraine. Look at what's happening there. Journalists are risking and even losing their lives to show the world what's really happening. You realize how amazing it is. Like, in America, you have the right to seek the truth and speak the truth.
See, this makes sense.
Even if it makes people in power uncomfortable. Even if it makes your viewers or your readers uncomfortable. You understand how amazing that is?
It's like when you see a movie before they put it in post.
President of the United States.
Yeah, right.
And I'm going to be fine.
It's just corrected
I'm going to be
everything.
Fine, right? Do you really understand what a blessing it is? Maybe it's happened for so long that it might slip your mind. It's a blessing. In fact, here, ask yourself this question. Honestly, ask yourself this question. If Russian journalists who are losing their livelihoods, as you were talking about, Steve, and their freedom for daring to report on what their own government is doing, if they had the freedom to write any words, to show any stories, or to ask any questions, if they had basically what you have, would they be using it in the same way that you do? Ask yourself that question every day, because you have one of the most important roles in the world. Thank you so much for having me.
Ask yourself every day, what would you do if you came across video footage of American military personnel intentionally murdering Iraqi civilians from an Apache helicopter? If you had that footage, ask what you would do with it, because don't forget, you live in America and you are allowed to speak the truth. You can see the truth, seek the truth, and then speak the truth. And so I want everybody in that room to ask themselves that question, how they would handle coming across a piece of video like that. Would they squash it or would they release it? What do you think?
It's really a statement on what a bootlicker Trevor Noah is, that after deciding not to have comedians because the last one they had made Colbert's bit look tame by comparison and actually went after them, that the first comedian they had back, and then they went to a historian the next time, that the first comedian they had back was somebody they knew there's absolutely no way this guy's going to challenge us. Absolutely no way.
So
and it's almost like he went so. I feel like he went that far out of his way to throw on the knee pads to make up for her. Like, no, it's okay. You can start inviting comedians back. There are a lot of us that have no principles.
Yeah, well, all right. Now we actually do need some context for real. So you're talking about the 2018 White House Correspondents Dinner, where Comedy Central comic Michelle Wolf was invited to speak, and she
did a brilliant takedown of the whole ritual. of the whole evening. It was basically the equivalent of Ricky Gervais at the Golden Globes. She pulled that on them.
You guys are obsessed with Trump. Did you used to date him? Because you pretend like you hate him, but I think you love him. I think what no one in this room wants to admit is that Trump has helped all of you. He couldn't sell steaks or vodka or water or college or ties or Eric. But he has helped you. He's helped you sell your papers and your books and your TV. You helped create this monster, and now you're profiting off of him. And if you're
see that guy who just clapped there?
Yeah, who is that?
That's Jeff Weaver, Bernie Sanders 2016.
Oh, right. I met him. Yeah.
Campaign manager. The only guy clapping in the entire room. And that ought to say something.
Gonna profit off of Trump, you should at least give him some money because he doesn't have any. Trump is so broke.
All right, that's I think
that's basically what's relevant,
right?
Yeah, no, and her whole bit. One of her best. It's not relevant to what we're talking about, so I didn't include it in the cutoff. Joe Scarborough and Mika Brzezinski had just announced that they were getting married. She goes, well, that's great. It's like a Me Too that worked out.
Yeah, Me Too that worked out. Yeah, exactly. That was a good joke. I remember that joke. Yeah.
That was a great joke. Trevor Noah, it's almost like he went out of his way to be the opposite, to be the bootlicker that they wanted, to be the ass kisser that they wanted, to be the person who would say absolutely nothing critical of what they do and how they do it. And they got it. Trevor Noah is a fucking disgrace. And listen, I love Jon Stewart, but Trevor Noah kind of balances the scales, man. Everything he did that I like, it kind of brings it into balance with Trevor Noah. And if you look at some of what he's done on The Problem, like where he had Andrew Sullivan on very recently, refuting a lot of woke ideology, and Stewart basically called him a racist and a white supremacist and all this shit. It's sad, man. It's sad. Like Jon Stewart now is becoming the white dude who is so scared that they're going to question why a straight white man is in the position that he's in, that he's just self-flagellating to show his allyship constantly in a way that feels to me very overdone and overblown. And you could say that started with him picking Trevor Noah. It's not that I don't think it would have been a good statement for him to not pick another old white guy. That's great. He could have picked her. That would have been the best. That would have arguably been a better Daily Show than the show that he did. It's not about that. It's about what kind of a comic Trevor Noah was. So what? You get a black guy and then problem solved. We saw how that worked with Barack Obama. Content has to matter.
Please clap.